Webinar of sleep biohacking series of modules of whole bunch of stuff that has helped not just me but many of my clients improve their ability to effortlessly be productive because they've got awesome sleep. Today we've got a whole bunch of content we're gonna cover, and what you may have noticed is each of these plays, right, in the sleep playbook is about building things up in sequence. And we start with what's easier, which is the biological manipulation about what's going on, what's conducive for sleep. We talk about supplements, we talk about biohacking using light and darkness, we talk a whole bunch about dealing with disruptive sleep, as well as hacks that you can take to, for example, to help you have more settled sleep, and also to not have to wake up multiple times at night to urinate, right? And even techniques on how you can get back to sleep when you do have those disruptions. We're working our way through into the higher level mental game. Mental game is the key to high performance at all professions, right? This is the difference. If you look at the top world 100 ranked tennis player on the ATP tour, what you'll find is they've got all the shots. If you're in the top 100, you've got all, good serve, you've got a good forehand, you've got a good backhand, you can do a lob, you can do all the shots. But what's the difference between those top 100 players? It's mainly here, right? That's at the highest level. You work on your mental game. When the stress is on, when it's a very stressful situation, when the cost is high, there's a lot at stake. How do you mentally respond to pressure and stress? And that's the mental game. That's why I coach a lot of executives and founders through. It's not for the simple stuff. It's really the high-level mental game that's required to help them achieve. Even with sleep, we've gradually worked our way through, and then now we're getting into the mental game aspect of things. In the last module, I talked about kind of cognitive therapy, or generation 3 cognitive behavioral therapy, on some of the things that you can do to help you get back to sleep. But I'm going to cover a little bit more about the mental game of the sleep right now, which is about how you can handle sticky thoughts. Okay, sticky thought, it's a mental game that's stopping your sleep. I'm not sure if you experienced this before, but for people who experience sticky thought, it can be really stressful because to get rid of it, right? The flip side of focus. Everyone loves focus. I'm going to talk about why this is an issue to have too much focus. I'm going to share with some of you a really powerful way to get rid of sticky thoughts that's affecting, in this case, sleep. But you can actually take this and use it on a day-to-day basis, which I will share also with you today. How you can create and use mantra to help you. You can create your own. I'm going to give you the formula to create your own mantras. And for you, of course, every single module I emphasize, you have to implement. You have to do something about it. Anything to make it stick. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, and I don't want that for you. All right. Sticky thought, the flip side of focus. Okay, now we love focus, right? Entrepreneurs, founders, you probably join me because you want to create better focus. You want to be more productive. But there is, a little bit of something is great, even if it's a moderate amount of something. But when too much of something, that's where things become a real issue. We know laser focus is productivity. Right, well, in some cases, sometimes when you have laser focus or on something that's not helpful, then it becomes a problem. It becomes sticky thoughts that's affecting us, that's impacting us. How does that happen? Well, someone cut off you in traffic, right? Some idiot just blocked your way, or someone just parked like 2 centimeters next to your door. You can't even get in. I don't know if you had experienced that, but that's really, really frustrating. Maybe you failed at something. You work your way up to do something, and it all just complete failure. And then you feel sucky. You just really, really annoying. Right? It could be lost love. We all crave relationship, and often the relationship is a bit of gamble. Sometimes things don't go right, and then that creates a problem where we have these thoughts in our head that's affecting us. We know when those things are racing through our mind, it's difficult to get to sleep. We need to let it go. But how? How do we let it go? Sometimes it's not even just failure or negative things. Sometimes it could be exciting things that you're thinking about, that your mind is racing in anticipation of what's going to come out. Maybe you're meeting, some super idol, right? You're going to a big event, or you've got this thing that's coming up and you're so excited that you can't sleep. Your mind can't stop thinking about it. That is a sticky thought. And the thing is, that's going to undermine your experience the next day, because if you wake up feeling tired, you feel sleepy, you feel fatigued, you're not having the full experience of whatever you're anticipating. This is something we can do something about. Okay. Mantra. What the heck is it? Okay, so a lot of people have this religious connotation of what a mantra is, but it's actually very simple. There's actually mantras, not just people associate with Indian religion, but it's not just an Indian thing. It's actually, you can think of it's as agnostic, right? It's not something that is tied into particular religion. You'll soon be able to see what I mean by this. Now, the definition of a mantra in Sanskrit, I can't even pronounce that, but it's a sacred utterance, numerous sound, right? They use the word as a form of a mantra, a syllable, a word, a phoneme, or a group of words in Sanskrit, Pali, and other languages believed by practitioners to have religious, magical, or spiritual power. So that's Wikipedia. What that allows you to do is empowers and declutter the mind. It helps you bring to a state of presence, brings peace, widen your horizon, create freedom, make you feel grounded, centered, calm, and happy. That is what it can do for you, but it doesn't have to be religious. There's Christian mantras. There's mantras in Christian tradition, but they don't call it as a mantra. They call it as a prayer, right? You can do prayer. That's just another form of things that we say. We as Christians we pray, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That you can something just repeat, and you find this peace within that. So it is not necessarily tied into some mystical yogic religion. It is something that everyone of all beliefs and faith can literally use to help create that benefit that I talk on the right. It does empower you. It just really brings you to the state of presence, and it stops your mind from racing and thinking and just wandering all over the place. It gives you control of your mind back to you. Okay, so how do we create and use these things? How do we do these mantra things? Very, very simple. I'm going to give you quite a few options today, and you can choose which one suits you most. These are things that you can try and practice on your own. And again, this is free. This doesn't cost anything. You just need to have the right mindset to give it a go and let the experience speak for itself. Put your judgment aside. I've mentioned that. Empty your cup and just give this a go. So you can do a value-driven mantra. And this is something that you can think about. What is your life's purpose and value? Your value, your number one value might be it's all about freedom. Or perhaps Archbishop Desmond Tutu. When people ask them, what would you want people to remember you when you go to heaven or when you pass? I always remember this. He said, he loved. He loved. He loved. He just wanna be seen as person who loved. And that's his ultimate value. If you don't know what that is, go and reflect. It's a very, very powerful driver of performance to know what your true value is and what you need to live by. It keeps you centered. It gives you grounding. You're less likely to be swayed, right? You can be calm in the midst of a storm, right? Even if everything's falling apart around you, you can find that center because that is your core. That's who you are. The authentic, truest form of yourself. It's I can't recommend it enough. Every executive I work with, I want them to come up with what is their value, because that almost drives everything. It helps them go through the tough times. So I'm not going to harp on about too much about this, but it is that important. Whatever your value is, freedom, love, whether it's giving, acceptance, authenticity, compassion, find your value. Make sure it's your value. Sit quietly so you're at night, right? You want to go to bed, sit in a dark spot. You're going to breathe in, whatever value you say, I am, whatever your value is, and then you're going to breathe out, okay? As you say that out the value. So breathe in. Let's say my value is love. All right, I am. Breathe in, love. Right? Let the value just kind of draw out a little bit longer than breathing in. Breathing in fast. I am love. Breathe out. Okay? While you do this is something that I want you to do. Practice is have your hands collapse like this. Turtle, do this. I am love. Close your eyes. I am love. Continue to do that until you're settled and you're centered again. Then go to bed. You can do this at any time, whether you've just woken up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to bed, or whether you just want to go to bed. Like whenever you find your mind is like a little monkey going over the place, jumping over the place, creating havoc for your mental sanity, and you really just want to get centered and be present, and so that you can do whatever it is that your goal, in this case, help you go to bed. This is a value-driven mantra that's going to help you. And when you do this, just feel like create this somatic, this introspection, which is interoception, which is a sense of what's going on the inside. And just feel, don't judge, there's no good or bad, just relax. Okay? And just repeat and repeat. And this is something that the character of a mantra is something that you continuously to do until you're settled, until you're present, until you reach that state I've shared before with you about, you feel empowered, your mind is decluttered, you live in the present, you've got peace, right? This is something that you will do your mantra until you reach that state, and then you can go to bed. All right. Another mantra that I will share with you is the liberation release mantra. And again, you sleep quietly in your dark spot, just be relaxed. You're going to breathe in, take a one deep breath in, and you're going to breathe out, and you're going to draw out your breath. Your breath is long and slow out, like drawing it out. And this is what you want to say to you. You take another deep breath in. I'm willing to be, and as you breathe out, I am willing to be liberated by life, or in my case, I say God. Because God is about liberation. It's about freedom. And notice what gets involved. Whatever that gets involved, you're going to just almost like you're jumping into that. Okay? So, I am willing, breathe in. I am willing to be liberated by God. And that might create a sense of injustice. If you feel that there's some trauma, there's something that you feel it's unfair, you want to be liberated. But then that can create a reaction of injustice when something bad potentially happened to you in the past. But then just notice wherever that is, and you're just going to dive in. You just and this is almost esoteric the way I describe it, but it's not specific. It's whatever it means to you, go and do. All right? Everyone is a little bit different. What does diving into that emotion look like? One of my clients described it's like you've got this ocean and you just jump straight in and you just swim around it. And that might be an ocean like a full of shark, and that's okay. You're just going to swim around it. And it will be fine. Know that you're fine and at peace. And you're going to say this: I'm willing to be liberated by life or by God. And then you just, whatever you sense in your body that arises as a reaction to saying that, dive right in. Take another deep breath. Breath in. Breathe out. Long, slow breath out. And then this is the next step. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, long breath out, I am willing to see, smile, soften, sink, and slide. And notice whatever that gets evoked again and dive right in. So a lot of the logical people, scientists, engineers like me, you might go, oh, what exactly do you mean by sliding in? What do you mean by soften? Can you give me a definition of what soften is? Let that go. Pick that up. That thought bubble, wanting to know the specific, and just go, boop, drop it. For now, just feel whatever that means to you. I'm willing to see, smile, soften, sink, slide. So when I'm willing to be liberated by God, I might feel maybe I was bullied as a child. Why did God let me experience that? Right? That's a reaction. But I'm going to see that. Okay, I feel injustice. I'm going to smile anyway. I'm going to soften. Whatever tension that I feel when I think of the injustice, I'm going to soften. I'm going to slide into it. And I'll just be okay, be with it. It's a choice. You don't control the reaction. The reaction just is. It comes. You don't have to manipulate it. You just have to be willing to accept, to soften yourself, to sink and slide into that emotion, just to be with it and know that you're fine. You are okay. And that's a powerful way of just softening your mind to sit with whatever things that's bothering you. But then you have this tool to help you bring this sense of calm and to really center yourself and declutter your mind. All right. So that is the second liberation. The second mantra I want to share with you. There are another one. I've got a whole bunch of mantras, and this is something you're going to have to experiment. This one is the spiritual release mantra. The way you do this is sit quietly in a dark space, just relax in the moment, right? And this is something that may or may not align with your belief, but for me, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe this is a powerful way where you don't just rely on yourself. You have this spiritual loving tool that helps you, give you that extra edge and tap into the spirituality to help bring a sense of peace and a centeredness. So in this case, relax in the moment in the Father's loving presence. take a few deep breaths. And again, I want to emphasize when you breathe in, when you breathe out, relax and soften and elongate. Like take a longer breath out rather than in. That's a biohack to help calm your nervous system. So do that. Once you're relaxed, breathe in slowly and then say, as you breathe out, Abba. Breathe out slowly. I belong to you. So breathe in, saying Abba. Abba, I belong to you. As you breathe out. Abba, Father, I belong to you. As you breathe out. Right? Prayerfully. Remember, mantra in a Christian sense is also called a prayer. Slowly, prayerfully repeat these words for several moments. Abba, I belong to you. Okay? And this time of powerful meditation by praying the Lord's Prayer. Very, very simple. So, Abba, I belong to you. Abba, I belong to you. Just breathe out and slowly, and then say the Lord's Prayer. Takes the, you can take this prayer with you into your day and live close to the Father's heart. Right? Just, Abba, I belong to you. We all belong to God. We belong to the Creator. And this is really powerful. For you did not receive a spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received a spirit of adoption. When we cry, Abba, Father, it is not the very spirit, it is that very spirit bearing witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. This is what this thing is based on. It's okay if this is not your belief. I'm just sharing something that's very personal to me, that's very powerful, a very powerful spiritual-based mantra that's really helped create a sense of calm, to know that I belong. I'm flawed, but I'm okay, and I accept it. I've got this thing, this acceptance with me, and I belong. And this is a powerful mantra that will release your spirit and release your stress to help you become centered. So, quite a few mantras I've introduced to you today. Right? There's 4 different kinds. There's something that's kind of agnostic, that's not religious, right? Then there's something that's about, but it's all about centering. It's all about bringing that sense of presence. There's a bunch of techniques integrated and weaved into each one of these mantras, so they are specifically designed by me to incorporate multiple modalities into a way that will help you create a sense of peace, and then to finally master that little monkey, to make it behave in your head, and then you can go and achieve and have the best sleep ever. All right, you have some actions, you've got some homework. Okay, sorry, I can't help myself. I want you to succeed. So choose a mantra, practice it, share your experience with your community. Okay, choose one, just try it. Even if you're not particularly bothered by racing thought, the idea is to choose something, and what is that, and experience what it feels like, because this is something, that's how you learn. You got to try and experience something new to appreciate what it can do for you. And if you got any particular improvement that you experience as you try this, remember, we're in a tribe together, we're in a community. Share your experience. If it's benefited you, don't keep it to yourself, because your story, your experience of improvement is going to help inspire others to give it a go. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help each other out. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's special module about mantras to help you master your mind, master your thought. And I look forward to seeing you